Hello everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Ichino-ani. Today is Monday, Day 18, 2026. I hope you're all having a wonderful and bright start to your week. Are you all ready to learn something new and exciting today? Right, so today we are going to dive into a very fascinating topic. Straight from the machine learning archives. Gather around, class, because today we are talking about a big problem on the internet and how scientists are trying to fix it. The title of the paper we are looking at today is Paraphrasing Attack Resilience of Various AI-Generated Text Detection Methods. The URL for this paper is https://ert/abs/2605.14240v1. And I know that is a bit of a long title, but the ideas inside this paper are super important for all of us to understand. So, let us start with the basics. What exactly is the problem this paper is trying to solve? Well, let us think about how often we use artificial intelligence these days. Programs like ChatGPT, Gemini are everywhere, right? They can write stories, answer tricky questions, and even do your homework. But this brings up a massive issue for society. Some people are using these AI tools to be intellectually dishonest. They use them to cheat on, or even worse, to spread fake news and dangerous misinformation on the internet, because humans are actually really bad at telling if a machine wrote something. You need special computer programs to act like detectives. These detective programs are called AI text detectors. But here is the tricky part, class. Bad actors have invented sneaky tools called bypassers. These bypass tools take the AI-generated text, and they paraphrase it by changing the words and mixing up the sentence structure. They remove common AI phrases and diversify the grammar. They do this specifically to trick our detective programs into thinking a human wrote it. The researchers of this paper from Northwestern University wanted to know something critical. They asked just how strong are our best AI detectives when they face these sneaky paraphrasing attacks. To figure this out, the researchers compared 3 different core technologies. First, we have a really cool method called Binoculars. Binoculars is clever because it does not need to be trained on the specific text it is testing. Instead, it uses 2 different language models to look at how surprising the words are. It calculates something called cross-perplexity. If the words are very predictable to a machine, Binoculars points its finger and says, "Aha, an AI wrote this." It even solves something called the RoBERTa problem, which is when an AI generates complicated text, just because you give it a complicated prompt. Second, they looked at a model called RoBERTa. RoBERTa is a trained transformer model, which means that it has studied lots and lots of examples of human and AI text to learn the difference. Third, they used something called text feature analysis. This is like looking closely at the handwriting of the text. It measures 5 different markers, like average word length, lexical diversity, and how often punctuation is used. It also measures the standard deviation of sentence length. This is super interesting because humans tend to write with a lot of variety. Sometimes we write short sentences. Sometimes we write very long, winding sentences. But AI usually writes very uniform and steady sentences. Right, so the researchers even combined all these methods into one super detective team, which they called an ensemble, using a system called random forests. Now let us talk about what they found, because it is quite surprising. Before the sneaky paraphrasing attack happened, the super team ensemble that included Binoculars performed the absolute best. It achieved a high score of over 80% accuracy. It was catching AI text left and right without breaking a sweat. But when the researchers used the bypassing tool to paraphrase the text, everything changed completely. The Binoculars method suffered the most significant losses. Its accuracy dropped terribly, by nearly 20%. On the other hand, the older methods like RoBERTa and the text feature analysis, they stood their ground much better. They barely lost any accuracy at all, the text features dropping only about 5%. Researchers call this the dichotomy of performance versus resilience. It basically means that the smartest student in the class during normal times might actually panic and fail when thrown a curveball, while the steady and traditional students handle the surprise much better. Let us think about how this technology impacts our real, everyday lives. I have 3 specific application examples to share with you all. First, let us talk about schools and universities. Teachers need these AI detectors to make sure students are actually doing their own writing and learning. If a school relies only on a fragile tool like Binoculars, A student could easily use a free paraphrasing website to cheat on their term paper. We did away with it completely. But by using a resilient ensemble tool like RoBERTa combined with text feature analysis, teachers can catch the cheating even if the words were carefully scrambled. This ensures that grading remains absolutely fair for all the hardworking students in the class. Second, think about medical research and scientific publishing. The paper mentions that AI can generate completely fake, but very realistic-looking scientific manuscripts. Imagine if a fake medical paper about a new heart medicine gets published. Doctors might read it, trust it, and real patients could get seriously hurt. By applying a highly robust and resilient AI detection system, scientific journals can scan every single submission they receive. Even if the dishonest authors try to paraphrase the fake data to hide it, the strong AI detector will flag the underlying uniform patterns of the machine. This protects the integrity of medical science and keeps us all safe from dangerous and unverified fake research. For our third example, let us look at social media and fake news. The researchers highlighted a real-world case in South Korea, where AI was widely used to generate fake advertisements containing falsified information. These ads promoted the sale of fraudulent drugs and unapproved hormonal therapies directly to the public online. There was also a terrible case where a German magazine published a completely fake AI interview with a famous Formula One race car driver named Michael Schumacher, which caused immense pain for his family and misled readers all around the world. Social media platforms and news websites can apply these resilient text detectors behind the scenes. When a post goes viral or an ad is submitted, the detector can quickly check if it was written by an AI trying to spread a scam. Because scammers always try to tweak their words to avoid getting banned, having a detector that survives paraphrasing attacks is incredibly important. It would automatically block those harmful ads and fake news stories before they've ever reached your computer screen. The researchers also pointed out something really interesting about computational cost and saving the planet. They tried something called quantization, which is a way to make the computer models run faster and use a lot less memory. They found that using the smaller, compressed versions only reduced the detection accuracy by about 2%. But it saved a massive amount of computer memory, dropping the requirement from 27 gigabytes down to just 11 gigabytes. This is absolutely wonderful news. It means that schools, small libraries, and knuckle companies do not need giant, expensive supercomputers to run these AI detectives. They can protect themselves using normal computers, while saving electricity and greatly reducing their carbon footprint. It is always a win when we can make technology more accessible and more eco-friendly at the same time. So what is the big lesson for today, class? It is that as artificial intelligence gets smarter and trickier, our tools to detect it must not just be smart, but also tough. We cannot just rely on what works best in a perfectly controlled laboratory environment. We have to prepare for the messy real world, where people will try their hardest to break the rules and trick the system. I think this is a wonderful reminder that sometimes the simple and well-practiced methods, like looking at sentence length and grammar, can be our strongest shield against new and complex threats. Thank you all so much for listening and learning with me today. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and always stay curious.